course, Ice really taking their time on this final rotation. Not sure what they want to grab. We have to remember Zyra up and available. Powerhouse in the early lane.
Ooh.
You don't play with my heart.
Is it? It's locked. It's locked.
Oh, yeah. What we want.
Rekkles made his name in Season 3 playing Vayne, and we get to see it at All-Star.
And I've been hearing a lot of talk about how Rekkles, after the first showing there for Team Ice, really buckled down, and he was very intense about practicing a bunch of 1v1s, getting ready for today, and trying very hard. I mean, all the teams actually have come to these regional games with a very try-hard mentality. I'm so excited to see this Vayne because he has been a menace in solo queue, and he's going to have the Jenna to try and help him through that laning phase.
We saw one Vayne go completely off in IWCA, just go to like 11-0, two-shot everybody. No way of standing up.
But we do have to remember that Vayne did get 3 kills in succession in the first 10 minutes of the game. So I don't know if it's going to be the same story. Stress, I want to see it too, but it's so vulnerable early on.
It's a possibility because Hecarim can do that classic red buff Krugs into 2.5-minute gank. We shall see, though. What's going to be the mid laner?
Well, there's the late game damage and the wombo combo. This is a strong team fight setup that's coming out of the GPL. If somebody's out of position, the arrow comes through, Alistair goes in, or the Nautilus, and brings the ball, and suddenly everybody's lost their health.
Yeah, both teams looking like they have a lot of power here. The wombo combo you talk about, I think most terrifying for Rekkles here is that depth charge from Nautilus. The unavoidable, undodgeable CC. Yes, Nautilus can't take Vayne out his own, but he hits that Vayne once, locks her down once, and she's going to get popped like it's nothing.
Definitely true. I mean, all these guys are also going to have to watch out for that Ash arrow. So there's a chain of events that can go in GPL's favor. This EU team, though, looks like it's very good at scattering, right?
EU versus the GPL. Team Ice already well on the way out, looking for some early plays.
And to focus more on this bottom lane, this is a matchup that specifically I asked Mithy about during IWCA, about Vayne into Alistair, because I was thinking, well, you're just going to get Q-flashed, surely. And he said, well, with the changes to Alistair, you now have to walk past the champions, so unless you can flash all the way past them, it's impossible to headbutt and punish them, so you end up the other side of Vayne in between two people. And with the Janna, any kind of crowd control to deny the Alistair the way in makes it almost impossible for him to engage reliably. So this is why this Vayne Janna has been picked into the Alistair.
Yeah, and there's so much potential for outplay with the Vayne, and you always like to highlight these big, 1v2 and 1v3 even sometimes possible plays.
Oh, nice.
All right.
He doesn't even need it, ladies and gentlemen. He's that confident. The crowd cheers for Peke.
By the way,
cheers or cheers?
D is for dance, Stress.
It's definitely cheers. And this time he's not running teleport, the classic Peke. He's bringing the ignite for the kill in lane.
See this brand. I mean, there's just.
There we go.
If you're watching from home, you cannot appreciate the sheer magnitude of Peke fans in the crowd right now. Spanish loyalty at its finest. See now Team Ice starting. Very standard blue buff early for the Hecarim. Similar story for Graves on the bottom side.
Which means we're not seeing the red Krugs 2-minute 30 gank that we were looking for. Kobe maybe getting them ahead, but we'll see how they do in lane on their own.
Yeah, I mean, that has been the most talked about strategy after the changes. It's become that everybody kind of expects it on the bottom side nowadays. And like I said, using the first blue buff to a maximum effect for Hecarim, full clear is not a bad option. This is a very, very high percentage chance of success if you just power clear the entire jungle, then you come out with your level 4 and go for the ganks that way.
And you can see the punish already coming through. Mithy puts the shield on Rekkles.
Ooh.
Rekkles goes forward to Celebrity because with Ron OP only being level 1, he cannot even combo on towards him. Like, even with a Q flash, there's nothing more to be done in this setting, so... Wait, really?
Flash replay!
Oh, he dodged everything. Nothing hit him.
That was foreshadowing. I mean, he's setting up the mind game flashes into a brush to juke people out. Once you get close to the wall and flashing backwards into the brush instead.
We saw it at IWCA. We'll see it here now in ASE as well. And he's getting a little cheeky. Going into the jungle here, spotting out Levi.
I like it. Peke calling his shots. And actually, yeah, you talk about the circle around to the top for Hecarim here.
UTV's pushed up.
Stun gonna connect. In with the Hyper, he wants to get it. It should be first blood, but QTV gets a big shield here. Graves on the way up. It's too little too late. Yanko's picking up first blood for Team Ice.
And yesterday we were looking for some big early moves from Yankos. Didn't quite come through with them. But here we go. Talk about the mind games. Oh, everybody's expecting the red into Krug's early gank. Ha! Do it on blue side, and he is rewarded. Plus, since Graves cleared bottom to top, he can't punish and go to steal away the red side jungle.
DP's here, though.
They can't punish SoloQ.
That's a big wave, and that's going to be one dead Kennen. QTV traded back.
Just a little too low on the health, stuck around while the TP was channeling and couldn't dodge out the hook, so as giving Jankos the way out there. Peke were going aggressive in the middle lane. Optimus has already burned through all of his mana already.
And Soaz is one of those guys that has such a long history of escaping ganks on the top side.
No, Soaz.
And repeat. Levi going in. Red buff down. Nautilus hook. Are they going to... Nope. Backing off. Meanwhile, the rest of the lane's playing suspended. Oh, that was a great tornado from Mithy.
Definitely, too. You expect that for a top-tier player. Rono Pivo goes in with the flash.
Look at it. He can't clear the distance enough.
Not going to be able to go forward. Rekkles still trading back, and it's not going to be much in the end, but so close to the potential knock under the tower. Peke, though, has now overstayed his welcome in the mid lane. Levy proccing the red buff. Peke set to fall.
Great patience there, and they punish him as soon as he goes in for the distortion. One of the other changes, the only kind of downside to the new LeBlanc is you don't have that old passive where you go invisible and then you have to make him guess which one and have a higher chance of escaping. They do punish him there, kill Peke, and he doesn't have teleport, like we said, to get back to lane.
There was some other guesswork going on there by Levi and Optimus. Where's the flash? When's he going to flash? How's he going to flash? Now they're going to think he's saving it.
They're never going to know. They're just going to think he saved it for some reason.
Exactly. They're like, oh, you know, he was resigned to his death, so he saved it for next time. Won't get repeat gank now.
So patient. Peke, how does he do it?
It actually pays off. Wow. Repeat gank's not coming.
Talking about repeat ganks, though, QTV, again the focus.
Jankos may try to delay the back here.
I mean, if I were QTV, I would have called his bluff and just stood there, because if Jankos goes in...
I mean, there's no help going to arrive for him here. So QTV is...
Oriana's on the way up. Oriana's on the way up. Optimus only level 5, though. QTV going to have to try some fancy footwork. In goes the Hecarim. Challenging Smite drops. Soaz grabs another one. Too little too late from the mid laner. Not going to make it in time.
I just look at that and like, okay, it's a little too late for QTV to stay alive on his own, but what was Jankos going to do? Go under the turret with no minions around to tank and Soaz not there for the rest of the damage? I think QTV, with staggering blows, a hook, his shield, may very well have stayed alive in that situation and dead Jankos, or he just keeps recalling out and Jankos can't stop it.
Look, they seem pretty rough, but...
I just feel like QTV...
I feel like you're taking that optimistic top laner approach, and I like it. But it's not going to work out for him, and Jankos not playing around today. Pretty hard with that top lane camp, and he'll be up to a pretty quick Trinity Force as well. Generally, you'll get the red smite just for the, the combat power there, and then switch over right away to the Trinity Force build. And once you get that, it's off to the races.
Of course, interestingly enough, bottom lane going in the favor of Team Ice. Rekkles kind of commanding these trades in so many ways. Rono P waiting, looking for an attempt to all in, but not finding it yet. You can see 57 to 52 farm. Ashe will even it up, but Vayne kind of expect her to fall behind so much in these early games.
In the mid lane, setting it up with the chain.
Not going to get it. Flash out from Optimus.
We were actually having... oh, never mind. Let's wait for this counter jungler to go off first.
Okay, Kobe, I don't think they're going to kill each other yet.
But it's fighting over the small raptors.
Soaz fighting over the creep wave as Nautilus is ready to contest. Does burn his ult in the end. Oh, Levi gets it.
He wins the trade in the
golf clap.
The golf clap.
Well done, well
victories.
Got the large chicken.
Jankos letting us know she's proud of that moment.
I mean, Levi is doing what, the Graves path there. He's up a level on the Hecarim, so, not falling too far behind. Did have the successful gank mid as well, so not too shabby there for him.
Now I'm interested to see whether Peke uses his clone. We saw this earlier out from Maple, that he used the second part of the ultimate elsewhere on the map to fake a roam while he was going over for blue buff, which, is something that I think we're going to start seeing a little bit more out of LeBlanc players, just having people guess where you are when you drop out of the lane. But this time, not the case. Interesting mechanics that I'm looking forward to seeing more LeBlanc players use.
Keep our eyes on it. Of course, Optimus, no stranger to the LeBlanc, however, did bust it out to qualify for this tournament. So we have to think that, you know, he may know how these combos are going to play out, that he may be able to outplay here in some of these trades.
Yankos with that red timer, goes in for the red steal. Meanwhile, you see on the minimap the little bit of backup there that Levi was going to give to Optimus when he was going to fight Peke in the river. But because of that, not going to be anywhere near the top side to protect his red. Yankos gets it and gets out.
Good response from the Yankos. Peke, though, still getting aggressive. Ooh, not going to get it. Peke does make it out in the end. Collateral damage, not enough.
NT. Good try there for Levi, but not going to catch Peke this time around.
Yeah, Sombrero not really effective against LeBlanc, one of the more difficult champions to lock down. Despite adding that extra second that she has to stick around before she can take the W back, still well before the time that Optimus ult would have closed. So I'm interested to see how Optimus can kind of hold on in this middle lane and if they can keep up with Peke when he starts roaming around the map.
Yeah, Orion, not too shabby towards the late game, does scale very well. So Optimus doing just fine at the moment. We shall see though, because I'm waiting for some bottom lane action. Ashe has hit level 6. The CC available to this GPL bottom lane is really, really good setup for something like a top lane teleport. You know, Nautilus is very high impact as soon as he joins down. And Optimus actually with the roam.
Something in mind as well. Maybe look for the bot lane play, but he gets caught in transit, and Optimus now set to fall. Peke gonna grab one, but the TPs are here. Nautilus not overstaying his welcome, instantly makes his way out.
Pretty dangerous roam there, and looks like Team Fire going to get chased out of the jungle here altogether. Now they have numbers on the bottom side of the map. See if they actually establish any more control.
Kobe, you asked for a bot lane play. Optimus was on the same page.
Yeah, okay.
Team Ice not going to have it. You're leaving the Vayne alone. And it looks like it's working out well so far. Of course, fell behind for a little bit there, but is now evened up in the CS department.
Evened up, and you know, we've been hearing so much about Vayne in SoloQ. You get yourself the BF sword, then go attack speed item, you know, a lot of that upfront damage on those first couple of hits. I want to see how that actually ends up playing out now for Rekkles. We've seen it a handful of times in competitive, and it really does take the game over if you don't put the Vayne behind significantly. So you're in a decent position for that.
Quax Peke just going to double dash on out of that. Not accepting the risk of the depth charge. Alt traded for alt, but looks like it's in favor of Peke here.
Yeah, definitely in favor of Team Ice right there, I think, because of the low cooldown, plus because now there's a Flash Cannon ultimate available with no answer from QTV. They don't have that extra CC from the Nautilus, and as we said, you know, Soaz is going to be one of the big divers towards the back line for Team Ice, especially once that Proto Belt does get completed. Trying to get to that pretty quickly here.
Misses the shuriken on the trade, so not able to lock up QTV, but still pressuring out here. You can see the massive CS differential between these two players, and it's only going to get harder for QTV as they move forward.
Surely, though, the decision-making now, as you're talking about the depth charge, I completely agree with this as an option not to stop Soaz. It's difficult for him to decide, because if Vayne starts snowballing, if Kennen starts snowballing, if LeBlanc starts snowballing, one of these champions, you can only pick one of the three. Who are you going to depth charge?
Gonna wish you had it, you know, so that you at least stick to use it on somebody. But 50% left on the cooldown, and I think they're gonna give up some ground here. Yankos going in for that deep vision coverage, combining with Mithy for the blast plant escape.
Making their way out. Mithy making his way back into the bottom lane to keep Rekkles safe and healthy as Ron, OP, and Celebrity back out. But Peke and Yankos are back in the mid lane. Maybe looking for a little bit of play, but Graves is waiting in the wings. He gets spotted out, and immediately Peke retreats.
Speaking of Mithy, we can commend him for a better performance today than yesterday, losing in the 1v1 and having a really rough game on the Zyra. So I know he took that hard. I wonder whether he was along with Rekkles tryharding the entire time.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the vision control as well. One of the big criticisms for Team Ice yesterday was the team play. You know, they talked about themselves. Mithy was kind of disappointed in their late game strategy. All the different players had different ideas for, you know, what the team plan was, and it didn't really come together. This time around, they have a lot more information to work with, and we'll see if they can actually make that work on the bottom side, because so many of those wards have been set up for this bottom play that we keep on hyping up or waiting to bring to fruition.
And of course, Soaz now continuing to pressure on the top side, but you mentioned it, it's maybe hard to have that team play with so many leadership members of the team. Peke leading Origin, so often subbed in as the AD carry because of his ability to shot call. Mithy, big caller coming in for G2, maybe butting heads on the authority level, but it looks much cleaner today.
we've got a kind of uncharacteristic thing happening on the left with the Rift right now. Soaz is so far ahead, he's nearly at first turret blood, and he's pushing up with the next wave. Very rare that it's a turret other than bot lane that gets taken down.
Yanko, surprise Optimus, not at all the party he wanted, just wants to lay down a ward, and he'll get the ward, but I don't know if he's going to be able to escape here. Running along the wall, but Levy there to back him up.
Does save his flash still? No! That will make him blow it.
Ooh.
Great patience coming in from Optimus at the end there, but Ron OP caught between a rock and a hard place, knocked down into the wall, burn the unbreakable. Rekkles hungry for more, not gonna get anything else out of Rex. Peke, oh, he wants a party, but he's not gonna get what he wants, not gonna be able to jump out at all as Levy grabs that one.
Great combo there from Team Fire, but remember, they still already sent Optimus back to base. So not much, chase potential there, and they are going to be able to at least defend their blue buff there after punishing Expeke.
And we were talking about the top tower, we were talking about how this bottom lane action was playing out as well. That tower did go down in favor for the European All-Stars, so they do extend their gold lead a little bit more, but Peke going that aggressive over the wall, perhaps a bit of a death wish for him, not really respecting Celebrity's arrow that eventually comes out. Peke just tries to go aggressive and point blank eats the arrow after a good combo.
It's just a great, flash play there from Ron OP. Flash combo, boom, sets it up for the arrow. Not able to get out of that stun. And 100% to, or maybe it was about 70% to 0 for the execution there.
But you saw Peke walking back and forth, not sure if he wanted to stay there. Caught out now, but they're in trouble. No Unbreakable Will available for Ron OP quite yet. Rekkles wants it. That was a sick play. Rekkles taking down Ron OP. Moving in on Celebrity, and this man is hungry for blood. He's not done yet. Moving forward, but in goes Celebrity. Mithy, has he overstayed his welcome? Soaz on the way as well. Celebrity wants one more, but the Nautilus is here too. Depth charge goes down, but Mithy is gonna stay up as Soaz backs off.
Exciting play there. We talk about, the outplay potential from Vayne, and buffering that condemn for the headbutts. He had that perfectly and does get the kill, but then, overestimating their 2v1 ability against Celebrity. Does go down in the process. Soaz can clean everything up, though.
Yeah, and this is how it started. We're looking just at that condemn again. Look at the damage that comes out from the Vayne already.
Yeah, and what you can do is just keep spamming the condemn while he's just out of range and then canceling it into an auto, then continue spamming it so that when he does finally cast the headbutt, it automatically will go off, and he is able to knock him back. But then Celebrity with the activated Ash Q right there takes him out and chases him with a flash.
And it looks like Rekkles wasn't quite expecting the flash to come out of Celebrity because Rekkles still had his, so he could have extended a little bit more of that distance and chose not to, wasn't quite in, a range to reaction flash since he was so low. So Rekkles ends up dying, keeps the flash, but eventually, the top laners came in with the teleports. It ended up being cleaned up.
At the end of the day, just that 1-for-1 back and forth trade, or 2-for-1 rather, traded back and forth. Dragon now set to fall as Peke taking a lot of tower damage here. However, there to back him up, and Mountain Drake looks to be going over in the favor of Team Fire. GPL falling behind in gold, but taking these objectives, taking control on the back end of that play.
And that was one of the characteristics that the wildcard teams a lot in IWCA would fall prey to was...
Peke overstays his welcome. He's going to get the fancy footwork out.
Yeah, they were trying to set up a play where they dive mid lane, but if Peke can't push him into the turret, then Yankos and everyone sitting behind this turret.
They want it. Here goes in, knocked back. Rekkles wants another kill. Are they going to give it to him?
The delayed trigger on the mid lane dive play we were talking about. And Peke with the long con on the bait there, sacrifices most of his health to draw Optimus out from the turret.
I like the positivity. The long con. Not going to connect.
Peke even managed to avoid dying to Levi's collateral damage as well. That came straight through at the end as well. So Peke seems to be, the man on a mission escaping in this game. Taking a page out of Bjergsen's book from yesterday.
And remember, let's take a look at the compositions and what this EU victory would look like since they are winning right now. They're going to be about that team fight where they can try and flank around, get the dive with all the spread out damage that they can have with the 4 damage dealers we set up, trying to attack from multiple directions, whereas GPL, they want a solid team fight with the Nautilus and Alistar right in front of them to try and deny exactly that.
And that's really going to have to come from their vision control. Forcing Europe to come into areas where they haven't got wards available and suddenly out comes Ron OP from the darkness. It's going to be very rare that they're going to just be able to walk towards Europe and kill them in
Becky
5v5.
flashed over the wall. He's set to pop. Optimus grabs a kill in the mid lane.
Another play being set up here. Ron OP.
Soaz, not going to get knocked back to the team, is going to make his way out. The stun on the auto is going to get it, knocks him back. Levy looking to put down the damage. There is the ult. Can he escape? That's a lot of damage. Proto Belt is not up. Moving out, wants to make it to safety. Sauce with the fancy footwork.
Looks like he's going to get out of this one.
The cow's coming back. Stun will be up soon.
Got
Ron
Moby
OP. A little bit more blood. Cow kill for the bloodthirsty support.
Nice dunk, and actually back-to-back plays set up there for the GPL. They're clawing their way back into this one.
Yeah, they're getting the picks. They're just, 2v1ing as much as they can. The problem is Mythy and Rekkles have been on the bottom side, getting another turret down for the European LCS All-Stars. And I mean, eventually that's going to grind down the GPL if they don't really assess this situation and shut Rekkles out, because he's quietly farming himself up on kills, on CS, and is becoming very strong.
Almost a 20 CS lead. Optimus is just going to get popped. Rekkles picks up another kill, and this is kind of what you talked about, Kobe. There are so many damage threats up and available on this team. If you ignore even one, coming out of nowhere.
And exactly like he was talking about, towers going down open up more space for Europe to work with and try and get those picks.
It's Peke playing with Fate a little bit there, teasing the Nautilus, baiting out the hook. Now going to pick up this blue buff as well. Europe absolutely in control of this game. You talked about needing to find windows and vision, but Europe have been so diligent this game about laying down the necessary vision.
Definitely true. We'll see if Teamfire can use the Ash Arrow and set up one of those more controlled team fights that we're talking about. But as of right now, Team Ice doing a good job of having that scattered gameplay as well.
One tower that remains that is critical for the GPL squad is that mid-outer tower. Normally it's fairly difficult to break down. You'd see Optimus go to the mid lane, wave clear it. They've just got to be careful that Jankos doesn't come around the side. If somebody from the GPL is in a side lane out of position and isn't able to react in time, if that Orianna dies, that tower is going, and LeBlanc suddenly gets so much more freedom in the jungle like you were talking about, Kobe.
Yeah, the towers are kind of snowballing, because even though GPL haven't taken a single tower yet, they do have that Mountain Drake, and they could collect a lot of gold pretty quickly if they get the momentum, if they get another one of those picks. The only problem is they got a couple picks, weren't able to turn any of that into any objectives, because Team Ice, the European squad, they are doing a good job of controlling those minions.
Not just that, but also controlling pretty much everything across the map. 34.9k to 31.3. Soaz with a massive CS lead. In addition to that, now completed Zhonya's Hourglass.
And that's so key, because suddenly the depth charge no longer a real option for QTV to put on Soaz to force him out of the fight, because as long as Soaz has Flash Proto Belt, who's already in, Zhonya's the depth charge and the damage is down.
And the threats are just stacking up. Not only is the Zhonya's done, but Rekkles has his Infinity Edge.
The Graves, and they're going to grab him. Rekkles looking for the montage moment here, but is going to have to back off.
Infinity Edge static shield.
This is not enough.
Shields.
Jankos going for more, Kobe.
Does get the ultimate out of Alistar, but that will take a long time to chop him down.
And it's going to be push the bottom lane, move to the mid lane, because Optimus is in the top lane trying to get top tower. Oh, they're going to
repeat.
Oh, they got the arrow.
Walk him up under the tower. Mythy with a nice disengage. Third proc.
Yeah, QTV had to clear out the minions there.
Oh! Static shift, boys. Popping him up, knocking him down, and Alistair just delivers himself to the Vayne buffet.
Yeah, I believe that was like the third proc on the True Silver plus a crit. That's the Vayne burst talking about. Just 2 items, all he needs, running straight through the bottom lane now.
They take the bot inner, they're pushing up to the inhibitor tower. Look, the damage is so significant. Jankos has gone damage build as well.
This is back, but I don't know if he's going to get here in time. They're breaking. Will they go for the inhibitor as well? Optimus finally returns to the base. QTV a little frisky, looking for the gank, but Rekkles is untouched, and inhibitor's going to drop in favor of EU. And they're just going to make a hasty retreat.
They keep up the pressure. Now they're timing their back with this extra Infernal Drake. That's going to add to this 4 damage dealing, 4 damage build squad that they have, and just it's going to be out of control here. They can continue to split up the map as well and poke at GPL from different sides.
Europe just got a ridiculous amount of gold in the last 2 minutes. They took 3 towers, a handful of kills. Now they've picked up a dragon to kind of augment this power already.
Oh, Peke. Old habits die hard. Maybe not, no. Celebrity gonna grab the kill in the end.
Playing hot potato with Peke there. Alistar passed over to Nautilus into the Ash for the last kill.
Depth charge comes out, but does not connect. QTV gets the cooldown back, and Peke does drop. 1-4-1 the scoreline for Peke, but doesn't matter this time around. Yanko's 2-0-4, setting the pace for the team in the early game, and Rekkles, you saw, is more than happy to keep it going.
Oh, whips the ball. Jankos forced to ult to get himself away. The turret does go down, so a little bit of a recovery of sorts for GPL. They still have a long road back, though. This is so heavily EU favored.
Yeah, definitely necessary for EU to see that mid turret. They want to keep it split up, like we talked about. Vayne up on the top side, split pushing. Rekkles is feeling very confident in his ability to fight off any attackers in that side. And so, as of course, with the teleport down bottom, completing their spread strategy.
And Mythi's ready. He's ready for the long-range supporting on Janna. He's got redemption. Doesn't even matter if he throws himself out first to die. It's the name of the game.
It feels like the perfect item, given his performance yesterday.
Ouch.
Meanwhile, 0 deaths, 007 here.
I know.
Secret Agent Mythy, you guys are just holding yesterday. You're living in the past.
It's true.
All his troubles were so far.
And well, Rekkles now, coming in, has 36% of his team's damage this game. The man solo killing anyone and everyone he finds. And Mythy, of course, there to back him up. You can throw shade for yesterday, but you guys are right. He is absolutely crushing it. And now they're going to look to crush Levy, although it's not going to be so easy. Now looking for the disengage, and the siege just continues. On the backside, Soaz is here. Peke is trying to keep out Optimus. Down goes the redemption. In goes Soaz. 3 almost locked up. Levy overstays for just a little bit, but will make it out in the end. QTV caught between enemy lines, does not want to go any further. And Rekkles unconcerned with the tower as Mythy tanks it out flawlessly. QTV, the true silver bolts are just too much damage. Mythy keeps the ball rolling, and Rekkles grabs yet another one.
Yeah, even with Vayne chunking away on him, takes a while to go down, but great flank there from Europe, and they're able to close this one, push in another inhibitor turret.
Pushing down another. This is going to be second inhib of the game. Rekkles just tallied up his 600th kill. So, you know, impressive game.
Another round of golf.
Another golf.
There you go. Well done. Well done.
I'm being told it was 300th kill.
300th kill.
I think that was in 2016. I was distracted.
Wait, what did you say? 300 is very different from 600.
All right, we'll figure it out later, because this is a time for action, as made clear by EU going absolutely ham in this fight. And then, as mentioned, press, there it is. So as dodging out the ultimate with the use of that Zanya's. And now, I mean, what options are left here for the side of the GPL? What can they do to come back in the game where there's so many strong members on the
I'm
side
a big fan of everybody group up, try and nail one person with the Ash Arrow, and just get your 5-man roaming squad. Maybe you can, you know, start picking people off. But it's definitely a Hail Mary attempt at the moment for GPL.
I've had it clarified.
Got it. Nice.
I've got the actual
what do you got for us?
300th kill of 2016.
Nice.
There we go.
Synergy. Moving forward, Rekkles looking for his 301st kill. Maybe hoping to take that away. Mythy hungry for a little bit of blood here, but Fire are backing off. They are grouped, though. Maybe this is their Hail Mary moment. The arrow is available. The Shockwave up and available as well. Ice prowling around the jungle, not looking to give an opportunity to fire.
Yeah, the minions doing a lot of work on the GPL base as well. They're going to need to dedicate someone to stand back and clear those out unless they lose their other one. Oh no, the Baron's going to have to be forfeit.
Not what they wanted. Rekkles just does so much damage, and Yanko's more than happy to tank it out there as they pick up the Baron. Infernal Drake backing them up as well. An 11K gold lead. Make it nigh impossible for Fire to come back, but they have the tools.
This game feels like the opposite game to yesterday, where, you know, everybody we were looking at being like, okay, these guys are probably going to be the primary carries. We're not sure how Peke is going to do. It feels like complete opposite land, which is good for the European fans.
You were right. You were just a day early, I think is what we wanted. The analyst was right. They were just a little early on that one. But now Ice moving in. They could end the game here. That tower's set to fall. TP coming in. One final fight to decide it all. Mono P on the back line. There's a lot of true damage on that Vayne. I don't know if the ult is going to keep him safe. Jankos can't be disabled if he uses the ultimate, does leap forward. Redemption going in. Whose is it, though? It is going to be the heal up for the side of Team Fire. Jankos caught up and locked down. So as for the big play, goes forward, but the team is split up. A moment of miscommunication may give Fire a chance, but it's not enough. So as moving in, Vayne grabbing the double kill. Team Ice moving forward. Rekkles.
Do it!
Oh, he gonna get it! Yes! One more for the Vayne. The shutdown in the end. A triple kill to close it out for EU and Team Ice.
We've been wondering when would the Vayne come out. We had Double Lift tease us a little yesterday with one of the games, and we finally see Rekkles on it. And 9-2-4. He and the rest of the European squad looking a lot better than yesterday.
Definitely agree. And one of the cool things, about this whole event, what is obviously All-Stars, a lot about the fun. So coach is not allowed this year, and so obviously the teams didn't come in with a bunch of practice, but they're all such competitive people. You have to be at this level of gaming.